Hello there, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the My Business Launch Secrets YouTube channel. My name is Kyle, and I am your host on this wonderful Magic Fairy ride of one man, i.e. this guy's journey from $0 to $1 million and starting a new online business from scratch while still trying to maintain a day job and take care of a family, pay the bills, and all that fun stuff. So I do only do this part-time, which is why if you're watching this video, which is day, what are we on, day 70, 74, 75, I think. Day 75 is today. Why you may be thinking, like, why isn't this guy like made any money yet? That's because I'm just doing this part-time and I'm brand new to all this. It's not like I've started 18 businesses and I'm just going to throw out an easy one because I've already got a list of 1 million people that I can just toss another product to and make $1 million overnight, which is, what a lot of people do and just claim that, oh, they were overnight success or whatever. And frankly, recently, if you've been following along for the 3.5 of you that are checking out these videos on the regular, I am making a bit of a shift in the focus of what I am building a business to be. And in some ways that's disappointing for me, given just that I feel like I have already spent a lot of time over these past 2.5 months trying to build something, built around more or less kind of providing some career development, coaching and advice, and creating a podcast around talking about some of my experiences and my own career journey and how that's impacted me, and sharing those lessons learned with other folks, and ultimately just trying to sell them into a monthly membership program that would provide some additional level of details, conceivably, which I could then roll into a group type of coaching program, potentially one-on-one coaching for those that were willing to pay. The problem I ultimately ran into, and again, I hadn't really launched any of that. I'd started, putting the pieces in place, had website funnels built and all that, a funnel built and and that thing, but hadn't really, launched it in terms of really trying to generate a lot of traffic to get that. I mean, frankly, the funnel's not even fully completed. I haven't tested it out and all that, but as I kept coming back to something that Russell Brunson was bringing up, and just kind of some of my own thoughts I've had about the audience or the market that I was targeting with that, were people like me, which Russell would say that's good. If you're trying to be an expert at something, it probably means you're trying to be an expert to people that were like you maybe 5 years ago, because that's the experience you have, and that's probably the most value you can bring, at least in the beginning. But people like me from 5 years ago are PhD engineers who, frankly, I probably would have not have paid attention to somebody that was in my shoes trying to do what I was trying to do. And just engineers in general are not really the type of people that I think are very interested in online education, at least not paying for it. I think the engineer's mentality is, I just need to figure out how to do this shit myself. And so either they will just sit down, pull out their textbooks, work through a problem, or they will go on the good old YouTubes and find videos of people helping them, of people talking about whatever the thing is they were interested in learning about. And that's more only like the technical understanding of something. But then when we talk about career development, mentorship programs are certainly something big at companies I've worked for, engineering companies. And so it's not that engineers don't want kind of career advice or career guidance, but I wouldn't say it's like a real top priority for them. And frankly, some of these mentorship programs I've seen have sort of come and gone just because there's not really a ton of interest from people. And that's sad in some ways. I mean, I think I mean, I have taken advantage of, having mentors, and took advantage of something in my last job where they hired a company that basically provided coaching, one-on-one coaching. And so I was able to meet with the guy, I don't know, once a week or once every other week or something, just to talk about stuff going on at work and get his advice on specific things I was dealing with in the workplace and how to kind of navigate that. And, I think it was valuable again, but that was something that my company paid for, and it didn't cost me a dime. So I was like, well, I might as well take advantage of it just to try it out. But if that guy had been marketing to me directly, asking for me to sign up for his coaching thing, which, for some thousands of dollars, potentially for one-on-one coaching, over multiple months, I probably would not have been interested at all. I mean, frankly, even if somebody pitched me on that now, I wouldn't be that interested. And so it was just hard for me to wrap my head around, how am I supposed to build a business of something that I don't even think I would be interested in buying. Now, again, as Russell has talked about, you don't want to necessarily put your own biases into the mind of your potential buyers, meaning it just because I wouldn't buy it doesn't mean there aren't other people in the world that wouldn't buy it. But I do know enough engineers that I've kind of seen this characteristic play out amongst many other folks. So I don't think I'm an isolated case. But I was trying to convince myself that, well, again, I didn't need like the whole world of engineers to come and buy my thing for me to be successful. I only needed, several hundred, if, maybe 1,000 to buy into this membership thing. And even that alone could make a pretty profitable business, and I would be happy doing that. And I don't know, maybe I could still do that, but just some things that Russell Brunson brought up of people that he's coached that were specifically trying to do this exact thing, basically, that I'm trying to do. And even from Russell Brunson's own mouth and what's written in his own books of saying like, yeah, that's probably a bad idea. To me, that's a pretty big sign of like, maybe this is not the best idea to try to push, another 6 to 12 months trying to get that baby birthed, so to speak. And so I'm switching gears, or I am switching gears. I don't know. I want to be fucking indecisive and just, I know I just need to like kind of get on with my life sort of thing. So, so what am I going to do? That's a good question. Glad you asked. One thing so I think the primary business opportunity I guess I'm going after is leveraging an old YouTube channel that I have that does have about 9,000 subscribers. Has gotten tons of views. I mean, maybe 1 million in total, or over 1 million, which to me, that's a lot. And those were videos, like tutorial videos about circuits, electrical circuits, because I used to teach that at a university. And those are videos that I had no intention of like trying to climb the rankings of YouTube's, but I just made videos that I thought were useful to my students and put them out there on the internets, and lo and behold, a lot of people started finding them, get lots of comments, positive feedback. Overall, people like it, blah, blah, blah. But that's still, it's been like 7 years ago. But I want to leverage that channel to kind of expand out, just from doing circuits, types of tutorials, which I might still do some of that, but also to just other topics that, again, I probably have, that I do have some expertise in, and that, me sort of leveraging who I am as a PhD engineer hopefully will give me a little more credibility, as opposed to starting a whole brand new YouTube channel from scratch on some topic that I didn't really have any authority talking about, right? So this is an area that I can already claim authority because I've done the thing and I've even taught the thing to other people. I mean, I even used to tutor like high school kids, I mean, many years ago. So it's something I enjoy doing, and that's important, obviously. And the whole thing, I'd already recorded a few episodes of a podcast I was thinking about doing for the old business, and it was kind of okay, fun, but it just wasn't really, I don't know, I didn't really, I wasn't like enthusiastic about going and recording those things when I did record them, the few that I did, because that was mostly just me kind of riffing on experiences I've had and telling stories about things going on at work and lessons I've learned over time, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not like a big talker in general. I mean, doing these videos right here that I'm doing for this channel, my business launch secrets, have certainly pushed me a little bit. I mean, I think I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with the idea of simply having to say more words out loud, because frankly, I say more words out loud on these freaking videos than I do like most of the rest of the day. You can just ask my wife and kids, but I'm just more of a listener, and I like to hear other people's thoughts and think about those thoughts on my own. And if I have a specific opinion, then I might share that within the conversation. But usually, I'm not gonna talk about it in depth unless it's something I've already thought about quite a bit and actually do have a lot of thoughts to share. So, certainly, in those situations, I can frankly kind of ramble and go on forever. So, it's either one or the other. Either you get like nothing out of me, or you get a whole spiel about why there's some total bullshit in whatever the conversation is that we're talking about. In any case, so I'm going to build up this tutorial type channel. Not really sure if I need to change the name of the channel. It's just tied to kind of my personal name, which I think I've found in looking at other YouTubers that are doing similar things. Some people do that. They just have a channel that's their name, and they're giving tutorials on whatever videography or Excel or whatever topic they want to talk about. The problem in doing that is you're not really building much of a business if the business is you. You're more so just like self-employed, and that's not really, it's not a viable long-term business anyway. I mean, if you have no interest ever of even the possibility of like trying to sell a business that is an actual asset that somebody else could have or leverage or use. Like if you have no interest in that, then obviously you shouldn't give two shits about what you call your thing, and don't care that you're the only guy running the whole deal. But for me, I do want to build something that is going to have staying power over the long haul. And so I look at channels that are more like, I think it's called like Smarter Every Day or something, which is just really just one dude who's an engineer, started that channel many years ago, and he's talking, showing people and kind of engineering principles in the real world, and lots of cool examples, and really explaining concepts in a very cool way. But one day he decided he didn't want to make those videos. I mean, there's no reason he couldn't just go start hiring other people to make those videos. It's kind of like, what was that? Show on the TV, maybe Discovery Channel. I can't even think of it, but like a bunch of scientist nerds that just did a bunch of experiments to try to, show principles of science and whatnot. And, that was a team of like multiple people, and they would bring people on and off. And, there was the two main lead engineer scientist guys that led it. Man, it's been a while since I've seen that show. I don't remember it. But anyway, it was kind of built around these two guys' personalities, but even if, as TV people do many times, if they decide they want to swap out a character for another character, they can do that. And that the TV show itself still survives in perpetuity. It's the show that's the focus. It's not necessarily the personalities. I mean, the personalities are a part of it, but it's not just all about them. As opposed to, say, like a TV show that's like Oprah. Well, Oprah decides to wrap things up. There's no Oprah show after Oprah decides to call it quits, right? So it's kind of the same thing on YouTube, in my opinion, anyway. And so I think I would like to make it a little bit more generic from just a branding perspective. I mean, obviously, for the time being, at least, I'm the only one that's going to be doing anything, creating content and all that jazz. But again, conceivably, sometime down the road, I could just start hiring people to write and produce their own tutorial videos, and I just upload them on my channel and pay them, a fixed fee, and I get the royalties off of having those on my channel. I don't know. So there's that. And then what I've trying to figure out is, like, a lot of these YouTuber peoples do like membership things, and I've heard about it also through people that like do podcasts of like, hey, join my Patreon membership and you get exclusive access to more behind the scenes footage or whatever people offer. I don't know. And so there's YouTube people that do that too. I guess YouTube itself offers a ability that you can charge people for memberships within your channel, and I guess that means it turns on new videos for them that maybe were locked unless you are a member. Although then I think I saw something that, like, you only get 75% of the commission, well, of whatever your membership cost is. Like Google or YouTube keeps 25%, which seems like pretty steep. But, I mean, if you're using their entire infrastructure, it's not costing you anything to turn that on, so to speak. So, I don't know, maybe that's worth it. But there are others. I mean, Patreon, I think, gives you a bigger cut. They only take a smaller 5 or maybe 10% of whatever your rate is. And so I've started kind of looking around at what those options are, and I don't really know what the best thing is, and I don't even know. I guess I just need to pay for some of those memberships from some of these people to understand, like, what exactly are they offering. What are they offering their members in these membership programs, and therefore what types of things do I need to have kind of start building out before I can offer a membership thing? Because I do want to have that, again, structured to set up, because I know that once I get into the swing of just starting to create more YouTube videos and start uploading them, once I get going on that, I mean, it's going to be very hard for me to sort of step away and then figure out, oh, great, I've got 100 new videos now, and I'm getting new subscribers every day, so that's good. But I'm not pushing them to any specific call to action because I don't have anything for them to buy. I mean, obviously, them watching my videos is good because I can get the revenue off the ads, but, I'm light years away from that number being any significant amount of money. So if I can start getting people to pay me whatever, $20 a month for some exclusive content or whatever, then, again, the fact that I already have 9,000 or 10,000 subscribers, even though, again, a lot of those are probably not really interested in my channel at this point anyway, because they signed up years ago when they were a student, and they're off in big boy and girl land now making money, so they probably don't care. But for newer people that are coming along, finding the channel, that are like deep in the weeds of like, oh my God, I'm trying to learn this skill, and thank you for posting these videos, and like, yes, I'll pay you $20 a month if I can get any more details on this subject you're teaching, because I got a course and I got to be sure I can get good grades or whatever. Like those people, I mean, why shouldn't I go ahead and get $20 from those people? Because I'm only getting like, a few pennies from them actually watching the video through the ad revenue. So I do want to have some of that set up. So that's really what I need to kind of dig into over the next several days of, again, figuring out what I need to put together. I did purchase, although I don't have it yet, purchase a tablet, a writing tablet. I forget what you call it. A tablet that you write on that you can scribble crap on your computer and record that. Because that's the other thing I was thinking about, these tutorials that I'm going to create, like how am I going to do them? Because the videos that I produced 7 years ago, I was using a university video studio with a bunch of fancy equipment, and they had this, I forget what's called, like magic draw board or whatever, or it's like a piece of glass that you write on, the camera's on one side, you're on the other. It looks like you're writing backwards, but all you did was flip the video post-production. So you get kind of mirror effect. And it's a pretty cool little setup. It was pretty like novel at the time. Of course, now those whole setups, especially as more and more universities have picked up online education, especially in light of COVID and all that, I mean, those things are like a dime a dozen. Everybody's trying to use them. And frankly, I really didn't like them that much, but it's what they had, so I used it. So I don't have one of those because of those cost like $10,000 if you want to buy a full system. So I'm not going to do that. But I could, like, I guess just buy a whiteboard maybe and put it up behind me and scribble crap out on a whiteboard, but I don't think that comes across in video too well unless you have like a very good camera and be sure that everything's in super focus and all that. So it seems what a lot of people are doing nowadays is using these writing tablets, which I think some people just probably use like iPads, at least like the iPad Pros, you know, they're touch sensitive to, and they get the magic pen thing that you can draw, and people say those are pretty good for writing things out. But I don't have an iPad currently, and the iPad Pros that they should say you should get, and the bigger screen ones, because you want to obviously have room to be writing the stuff down. You know, it's like forking out $1,200 or something. Throwing the pen itself costs like another $150 or something ridiculous. So it's a pretty good hefty chunk of change. So I just started looking at you can get these, again, like writing tablets or something. I forget the name of the main company that everybody says you should use because they're the best. Wimco maybe or something. Yeah, it's kind of like a trackpad, but it's a touch sensitive, pressure sensitive thing that makes drawing very easy. And so I purchased one of those. Going to pick it up at Best Buy tomorrow. Start to play around with that. See how that goes. I think that'll be good, both with camera plus doing some screen capture of what I'm writing down. Of course, this is one of these where there's no screen on the tablet itself, so like I'll have to get used to like writing on a tablet when I'm not looking down and seeing what I'm writing because it's only on the computer screen. So that'll be a little bit of a learning experience. But I was watching a couple of videos of how people ran their whole setups doing things like that, and it seemed to be pretty good. Worked out for them. So that's my plan. On a side note, which I'll never mention again because it's not really for my business, but I did record some episodes of a new podcast, ditching the old one that I said I recorded a few episodes for, starting a new podcast where I'm just sharing various thoughts about the world around us because I get very frustrated by things in my day job, which I won't really get into the details here, but I thought maybe I need like a cathartic outlet of some sort to get a lot of this crap off my chest because, when you got a job, it's like you can't really complain about the things you're doing to anybody that you work with, because it's like, I mean, I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that I get to do the work that I'm doing, but there's just so much like bullshit that I just would love to just share with, and like I can't like dump it all on my wife because she doesn't deserve to just listen to me come home and pout about whatever BS when she's got all kinds of crap she's dealing with and trying to raise two crazy kids. And so I try to maintain like a positive attitude when I'm at home. Not that I, don't share things with her. It's just, I think there is some balance there you have to have in any relationship of like, you can't just like continually come home and just like dump all this negative energy and just expect that that person's just supposed to receive all this, negativity, even though you're not directing the negativity at them because they're not the ones that caused you to have that whatever pain or whatnot. But the fact that this is all they're sort of receiving from you, I think can be negative to the relationship. So try to find a balance there. So I figure, well, I'm going to make a podcast. I'm going to make it more of an anonymous podcast. I don't even know if I'll put it out there, but I'm going to start recording episodes. And if I get the courage one day, I'll start dropping episodes out there into podcast land and just see what happens. Maybe, I don't know. So with that, time for bed. Hope you're all doing well. Keep on kicking ass, taking names, and I'll see you next time. Peace.